Do you actually have to be on cocaine to be on this podcast?
It's a great day to be a Wildcat!
Cocaine.
Dirty.
What's up, everybody? You're listening to yet another edition of Cocaine Willie, the official K-State representative on the College Huddle. I am your commissioner, Bob Trollsby, and as always, I am joined by my co-host, the good chef, Andre Napier, and Fireball Matt Marchesini. And tonight, we're doing our long-awaited locks and fantasy picks for Week 2. But first, before we dive into the episode, we first want to give a shout-out to our two sponsors, Annie Mae's Parlor and Pat's Beef Jerky. Starting with Annie Mae's Parlor, this show is brought to you by your auntie, located at 616 North 12th Street, right in the heart of Aggieville in the Little Apple. Annie Mae's has been in business for 50 years, and is an absolute must-visit destination on game days and school nights alike. It's also where I had my first legal alcoholic beverage way back in the day in 2013. So it's far and away my favorite destination in Aggieville. Tons of memories there, and I always make a point to visit my auntie every time I go back to the Little Apple. They feature a wide variety of craft cocktails, draft beers, and everything in between, along with entertainment like live music, comedy, and other events, along with the underground guitar pull, which will be happening on September 12th. It's a night of singers, songwriters sharing songs and stories. A horrible movie night. And this month's movie is The Night of the Kick Fighters. IMDb that shit, apparently. And then October 12th, the Waco Brothers, a Bloodshot Records recording artist, will be performing at Annie Mae's Parlor. So, again, check out their website, www.antimaze.com, to get a list of their upcoming events. And make sure that you visit your auntie in MHK at 616 North 12th Street in the heart of Aggieville. And be sure to tell them Cocaine Willie sent you. The show is also brought to you by Pat's Beef Jerky, located at 401 Main Street in Liebenthal, Kansas. Pat's Beef Jerky has been serving up the finest beef jerky in the Midwest for 34 years strong, and feature mouth-watering flavors like the classic beef jerky, the teriyaki beef jerky, and my personal favorite, the savory beef pepper sticks. You all know it and love it by now. There are 3 places where you can get yourself some Pat's Beef Jerky. You can pick it up in person at either the Fridge Liquor Store. God, I wish they still had that Blockbuster ticket-shaped sign too, by the way. But the Fridge Liquor Store in Manhattan, or at Pat's Original Store at 401 Main Street in Liebenthal, Kansas. Last but not least, you can get Pat's Beef Jerky online at www.patsbeefjerky.com. And if you use the promo code CATS at checkout, that's CATS with a C, you'll receive 10% off your next order. So go use the promo code CATS at checkout and visit www.patsbeefjerky.com to place your order today. Gentlemen, week 1 locks. Looking pretty bad for Bob. Looking pretty bad for Matt. Looking okay.
Winner. Let's go.
Look, you can't say looking pretty bad.
It's looking pretty bad.
No, it's not as bad as
2 and 3. That's not good.
You were the worst, Bob. You were the worst. That was an all time.
I wasn't. I'm not saying I wasn't.
Couldn't have been any worse.
I'm aware of that.
But
I am saying that 2 and 3 is also not very good.
And it wasn't even like close. Like any of these.
It wasn't. It wasn't even close.
Take it easy on my boy right now. Why are you doing that? Bag boy.
Bag boys, what you gonna do?
You.
Oh, son of a bitch. Okay, so Bag Boy this week, man, how bad does this sound with the new mic? Does it sound pretty bad?
No, it actually sounds great.
Sounds really
pretty crisp. Sounds pretty crispy. Love it.
You sound perfect.
Okay, well let's do this here. So last week, just quick run through of my picks. I picked West Virginia plus 8.5 versus Penn State. I picked South Dakota State plus 9.5 at Oklahoma State. I picked Texas Tech minus 32.
Oh my god!
Versus Abilene Christian University.
Yeah,
My
can we get
national
that?
game.
Can we get that sound?
My national game was the Association of Texas minus 2.5 versus Notre Dame. And then my sickos game was Miami of Ohio plus 2.5 at Northwestern.
That was a great name.
The Texas
Association.
Maggies.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
The Maggies. Pretty good. Okay, so this week, well, I'll just go ahead and go through the two of you real quick first. So Chef ends up taking the mantle for not maybe one of the first times. It's not the first time, but it's like maybe the third time ever.
No.
It won't be the last, and it might last all season, just to let you guys know.
I don't know about that, but Chef missed on South Dakota State plus 9.5 against the Pokes. He hit on Houston versus UNLV plus 2.5. Hit on Stanford plus 9 versus TCU. He hit on plus 4 USC versus the Tigers. Go Tigers. And the Sickos game, he missed on Akron versus the Fighting Will Howards minus 48.5.
Man, oh man. I mean, Will Howard, you let me down in that first half, boy. He let me down. How could he do that to me? How could Joe Burrow reincarnate do that?
That's your boy.
That's my boy.
And
he did me wrong. I mean, it was really Jeremiah Smith on that first drive. He dropped a easy touchdown screen by himself, and that could have really started the cascading, but it didn't happen. So I'll never forgive you, Will Howard.
Well, Matt may be able to forgive him, but he didn't pick that game, so it doesn't matter. But Matt goes 2-3 on the week. He hit on Stanford plus 9 versus TCU. He missed on Houston minus 2.5 versus UNLV.
Houston was so bad.
They were awful.
It's strangely bad. It doesn't make any sense, really. It really doesn't make any sense why they were so bad.
They were awful. They were awful. You hit on North Dakota State, the Fighting Bison at Colorado. You missed on LSU minus 4.5 versus USC.
Fuck Brian Kelly.
Anytime Matt challenges me on a pick, he's going to lose.
Why am I thinking Brian Kelly's going to beat a power conference team in the first game this season? Like, I mean, that was by 4.5. That was so dumb.
And you missed on the Fighting Frank Martins minus 2.5 versus Eastern Michigan.
Oh, yeah. I completely forgot I did that. Home field advantage doesn't work for UMass, I guess. So.
Oh, my God.
Oh, Jesus. Well, let's go ahead. So our week 2 locks, they are sponsored by Annie Mae's Parlor, none other than the greatest bar in Aggieville. But Chef, since you took the mantle for week 1, you get the honors of picking week 2.
Man,
so show us what you got.
True honor. I'll take the tee box. I'm driving first off the tee, and I'm not giving the tee box back. So my first Big 12 lock, BYU going to Dallas, SMU, they might win the ACC. Nobody wants to win it. For God's sake, bad conference. SMU minus 10.5. Easy money. BYU stinks. They're bad. Well, they played all right first week, but they're not going to be dealing with SMU. They're not going to have it. Then this one makes me sick as well. KU at Illinois minus 5. I think Glass Boy's got it going, man. If it's not Lindenwood, he's not throwing picks. Let's go. Give me Glass Boy and KU minus 5. Houston. I know I just picked UNLV, and I know you guys probably the worst Big 12 team in the conference, but you've got to have some respect for yourself. I mean, for God's sake, you can't let OU beat you by 30. You just
can't. Is this game in Houston, or is it in Norman?
No, it's in Norman.
Interesting.
It's only a 30-point game. Wouldn't you think the bookmakers, if Houston was really bad, really, really bad, they would make it a bigger spread than that? But I think they know something. So I'm going Houston plus 30. Give me that. If I go 0 for 5, I'm blaming Willie Fritz. My national game, we can argue, but Georgia Tech is in the top 25. Beat a top 5 team in Florida State. Come on now. Georgia Tech versus Syracuse and Kyle McCord, sneaky up there in New York right now. Kyle McCord and the Syracuse Orangemen plus 3. Give me it all day. That's easy money. I don't even know what they call that stadium anymore. The Carrier Dome? Is it still called that? Not sure.
I think it's a JMA Wireless Dome.
Just
You
call
made
it
that up.
Dome.
You made that
No.
up.
JMA Wireless Dome.
What
Look,
is
I
Alright.
know my New York. I know my New York stadiums.
I love
They
that.
are not a sponsor of the pod. They don't deserve to be spoken of.
No free ads. Sicko game. San Jose State without their former coach. I don't even know who's coaching them anymore, but they got to go to, where is this at? Sulphur Springs or Fort Collins or something like that in Colorado.
Colorado Springs.
Colorado Springs, whatever, to face those Falcons up at the Air Force. They're dropping bombs on San Jose State. Give me Air Force minus 6.5. Let's go.
Oh my god, that was a really good pun. If you didn't even, were you trying to do that? You're on mute. Whatever. All right, I got my 2-3 record. So my first one, I'm going against Chef. I'm taking Illinois plus 5 against the Hawks.
Did you just say Illinois?
Yeah, I did.
You're sick.
Because they're gonna bring the noise. I actually picked, so when we did our Big 12 kind of predicted records and whatnot, I actually picked KU to lose this game on the road. So I am taking the 5 points for Illinois and running with it. Washington State in Pullman, they're hosting the Red Raiders, and they are getting 2 points. I'm taking Washington State over Texas Tech. Cincinnati, I'm taking the 1.5. They're hosting the Pitt Panthers. I know nothing about Cincinnati, but I'm taking the 1.5 and hoping they hold home field advantage in the skyline, chilly capital of America. National game of the week. NC State looked like shit last week, but they won. And they're hosting Tennessee on Saturday night. And they are 8-point underdogs against the Volunteers. I am taking them at home, 8 points. Go Grayson McCall. And then in the battle of 2 schools that I got accepted to, I am taking Northwestern 2 points against the Duke Blue Devils. Northwestern, Duke.
That was
Go
a quiet
Wildcats.
flex. That was a quiet flex. Let's go.
Okay. There is no way that I got into any of those schools. So everybody who's listening, I may look smart and I may say things that are smart, but I did not get into those schools.
Yeah, the real ball knower of the pod.
Yeah. Oh, my bad. I thought I was on mute.
Oh, I need a really good week here to turn things around. So I picked a similar game to the one of the ones that Matt just mentioned. I'm taking the Cincinnati Bearcats, the stinky Satterfield Bearcats. I'm taking them minus 1.5 against a very much stinkier Pitt Panther team because they're just freaking awful. Scott Satterfield is shit and he's horrible and he needs to get fired, but they have a sneaky easy schedule this year if we're just calling a spade. So I think they're going to be the West Virginia of last year this year.
Shout out to Nate Matlack at Pitt. Hope it's working out for you.
Yeah, great call out. I forgot about that, and we'll forget about it as soon as we stop hitting record here. Utah is playing the Baylor Bears in a non-conference conference game. I'm taking the Utes minus 14.5 against the Baylor Bears.
I don't know. Dave Aranda's got this new look. He looks
haven't
like the
seen him.
Turkish Olympian.
Did he grow his
With
hair
his
out
glasses?
like Shaka Smart did?
No. He wears glasses now.
Does he really?
Oh.
Yeah.
Are you talking about the Hitman from?
Yeah. He looks like the Turkish firearm expert.
The Turkish John Wick.
Yeah. That's what Dave Aranda looks like.
I love it.
Oh my! I haven't seen
Googling
this
it right
until now.
Oh no.
Huh.
Oh no.
Well, that's
Go
interesting.
on. Next one.
Yeah, interesting development there. I don't think the Fashion Olympics really play into this one. I think Baylor's getting shellacked by the Utes. UCF, the University of Central Florida, is playing Sam Houston State Bearcats with a K. So I've got 2 Bearcats in my picks for this week, but I am not picking this Bearcat team. I am taking UCF minus 21.5 versus Sam Houston State. My national game, I'm taking the Texas Longhorns minus 7.5 at Michigan.
Homer.
I'm not a homer. I freaking hate them. I'm taking the Longhorns. They're better than Michigan. Michigan was super slow last week. I didn't think they looked good at all. I'm gonna go with the pick there. I just think they looked a little sleepy, and they might have been looking forward to this game, but I just think Texas is pretty good. So I'm gonna go with them. My sicko game. In an annual tradition now at this point, I'm taking El Assico, and I'm taking Iowa minus 2.5. I'm going with the crowd-pleasing pick there. And I'm taking this fucking bag off my head.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Let's hope that Matt gets to wear it next week.
Yeah, let's hope.
Oh,
Actually, I hope they do get to wear it next week because I need to even things out here.
No chance. I'm never putting that
You're
thing back
you're
on.
already the ugliest one on here, so why not?
Don't do that. Don't do that.
You now need to say something nice to Chef.
Yeah, please.
Say
Chef,
something nice about Chef.
You are a ball knower.
Yep.
And certain situations on certain days of the week.
Okay. I'll take that one.
But most importantly, you are a bald knower. Yeah.
Shout out to the bald lovers out there. Shout out to the bald lovers. Shout out to the moms. Shout out to this fantasy lineup that I'm about to crack y'all over the head with. Let me run this down for y'all. Noah Fafita.
Let me. Host has to introduce the segment. Okay, as I crack the beer there, the fantasy segment is sponsored by Pat's Beef Jerkies. Pat's Beef Jerky. Check them out. www.patsbeefjerky.com. Use the promo code CATS at checkout. They got some orders, boys.
Get your 10% off. What are you doing?
So yeah, if you're not doing it, go do it. Chef, again, you're 2-0. You won locks and you won fantasy last week. I guess just to do a quick recap for the rest of the group here and for the audience that doesn't have access to our spreadsheet with every stat and everything on it. The rundown for last week. So Chef had Noah Fafita from the University of Arizona with 31.88 points. Devin Neal from KU with 23.2. Jalen Knoll from Iowa State with 27.5. And Garrett Oakley with 0. Rounded out by the Oklahoma State defense and special teams with 25 points, bringing it to a grand total of 107.58 points. And the kicker is he won by 0.06 points over yours truly, who had 107.52 points.
Oh, my God, that's brutal. You know, if Jalen Daniels could just complete one pass more.
Or not throw an interception against
that
a fucking scrub-ass team like Lindenwood.
It would all be different, but it's not because I'm the champ and I'm going to keep it that way. Like I said earlier, I'm going to beat you over the head with this fantasy lineup that I got going on right now. Noah Fafita versus another stinky warm-up game before they play Kansas State on a Friday in Manhattan. Northern Arizona has no chance. He's just going to throw up 9 routes to McMillan all day. Give me Noah Fafita at my starting quarterback. RJ Harvey at UCF versus newly appointed FBS team Sam Houston. It's not going to end well for them. RJ Harvey might have 4 carries for 125 yards. Don't do the math on that. Not a math pod. Brennan Presley. Like I said when I drafted him, he is just going to be a reception guy. I mean, he's literally going to be a PPR guy. He had 5 catches last week for I don't even know, 25 yards, 5 yards per catch, but he got in the end zone. I like how fast Oklahoma State is going. Their offense looked a little bit better than I expected. I thought they were just going to, turn around and hand the ball to Ollie Gordon, but they kind of spread the ball around and they are on a turbo speed. Give me Brennan Presley at my starting receiver for his first start. I got a little nervous. I'm not gonna lie. When Garrett Oakdog put that big ass donut up, I said I got to change something. Something's got to give. I'm going Cole Taylor. He had 2 catches last week, and West Virginia needs to rebound. So Garrett Green, feed our boy, feed him, Cole Taylor, and then obviously Oklahoma State going against Arkansas, who they dropped 70 last week. I don't know if they could do it again, but I'm shaking in my boots if I'm Oklahoma State.
Oh, yeah. Arkansas Pine Bluff. Very, very formidable foe.
Hey, we built up Tulane, and they played, probably arguably a worse team. So let's.
I don't know. And I don't want this to go unnoticed, but Matt last week got absolutely waxed in fantasy with 84.38 points total. So I'll go ahead and go next, and then Matt will round us out for our sharing his starting lineup. I'm going to go with KJ Jefferson this week. Again, they're playing Sam Houston State. Yeah. And I just don't think that's going to go well. You've already mentioned that, Chef. So I think KJ needs to get right a little bit after last week. It sounds like he had not a great showing, but between KJ and Jalen, I didn't really want to go with either of them, knowing that I also have to kind of keep Cam Rising in reserve for later in the season. I've got 3 injury-prone guys, too, I'm realizing. So maybe these 3 quarterbacks just weren't it for me. So I don't know.
You might need to start burning them now before they start breaking in half.
Yeah, I've got to burn them all at some point. DJ Giddens, I'm going to have it starting running back. Dylan Edwards did great for me last week. I think that his performance could be replicable, but at the same time, I think in a blitz heavy defensive scheme, I think DJ is going to eat this week against Tulane. I think he's going to put up some good numbers. So I feel good about DJ's chances. And I think the offensive line is going to be stout enough to be able to handle the blitz from Tulane. I'm going to go with T-Mac because if I had started him last week, granted, Travis Hunter was my leading point getter last week.
Yeah.
But T-Mac would have been better, slightly better.
Yeah. Oh, my God. He had 10 catches for 300 yards and 4 touchdowns. That dude was insane. That's 30 plus 10. That's 40 plus 3 touchdowns. That's 18. I don't know. Not a math pod, but that's a lot of freaking points, dude.
I'm in kind of a feeling out phase. I almost think that maybe my strategy is just to rotate and see which I kind of want to see which of these guys have the weakest opponent every single week, but that's not going to work every week. So maybe I just go through a rotation and see who wins, I guess.
Travis Hunter versus Nebraska. Maybe not the best choice.
I don't think that's the right choice. So I'm going to go with T-Mac, Tetairoa McMillan from Arizona against the Northern Arizona, whatever they are. And then Brant Keithy, as it is pronounced, the Utah Utes, that going up against Baylor. I know Baylor does have a defensive mind as head coach, but that doesn't mean that their defense is always really all that good, especially the last couple of years. So I'm going to go with Brant Keithy, the Utah Utes, and I think they're going to have a good showing. If you listen to locks, then I'm gonna go with the double dip there. And then K-State defense, obviously. So
Shut them down, K-State. Shut them down.
I probably have the best defense of the group here, clearly.
Yeah, I'm not feeling confident with my Oklahoma State defense right now. Even though their kicker is out of this world, and we are including kicking stats in our defensive special teams. Shout out to Chris Tennant.
Special team scored for me too last week with the block punt.
Yep, that was a defensive touchdown. Defensive special teams touchdown. Very beautiful. Go ahead, Matt. I know you're pondering. Is your team where you want it to be? I don't know if it is.
You know, it's a tough week upcoming here. I didn't want to play Avery because I think it's going to be a low scoring game. Rocco Becht is playing Iowa, so I'm stuck with Garrett Green Dog playing the Albany Great Danes.
Ooh, shout out to the alma mater.
What? I didn't go to Albany. Idiot. I have to pick Garrett Green, and I'm not excited about it. I'm taking Ollie Gordon against Arkansas, even though Taj Brooks had a great game last week. But it sounds like Taj Brooks is also questionable for the Washington State game.
Don't like that.
What I heard, aka what I read on the Twitter sphere. Take 2 for Kobe Hudson because I'm not picking an Iowa State offensive player this week, and I am not picking Rashad Owens. So I need Kobe and KJ to have like 9 touchdowns. And then I'm picking Drake Dabney of TCU because I couldn't throw. It's kind of just like you got to pick one or the other. They're going to get you 8 points and you're fine.
Shout out to Dabney.
And then, the Utah defense was actually very good last week.
I think they didn't give up a single point.
Correct. Yeah. So go Ute. Go Ute.
What's a Ute?
What's a Ute?
I know what a Ute is. It was from my cousin Vinny.
A Ute is a type of vehicle that is a combination of a utility vehicle and a pickup truck.
No, it's not the Ute as I know it, but
I think they were talking about Native Americans.
They are, but Google AI overview.
People worried about AI taking over. I mean, these guys
got it wrong.
These guys.
So we've got. Since we're riffing on this, I guess I'm just curious for the two of you. What game do you most have your eyes set on this week? I guess we've got a lot of really intriguing matchups across the Big 12, and I think I'll just name off the ones that I'm interested in. So Arizona State, Mississippi State, a battle of 2 bottom dwellers in their respective conferences.
Maybe
that's going to catch some eyeballs, but I don't know. Arizona State looked better than Arizona last week for
a hell of a lot better.
A majority of that game, and then Arizona pulled away in the second half. Texas Tech, Washington State against one of the Pac-2 teams that was left behind. You've got Houston, Oklahoma. I don't think Houston's any good, but I guess we'll see.
I think they
Colorado, Nebraska, classic Big 8 matchup.
I think that's the one. I think that's number one. I mean, the hype's going to be there. Nebraska with their Mahomes mini-me is going to be a fun matchup between him and Shador. It could be a lot of points scored in this game. I'm be honest. I think neither one of these
looks too much like Mahomes. It scares me a little bit.
I think he's borderline stalking him. He needs to take a back seat, brother. You're doing too much.
Hey, how confident are you in your team this week, Chef? Like, you think you're definitely going to win?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. How about this? What if you switch your defense out with Colorado and we'll see?
Okay, hold on. Who's their? Did they still got that Hispanic kicker, right?
What?
They have a Hispanic kicker.
They do. I didn't know that was going to be the thing that gets you.
I'm just trying to think. No. He's been gone. They've got some kid from Jackson State that came over with Dion. He's some Hispanic
if you're
kid.
So confident. You should.
I might because Travis Hunter plays.
Jace Feely is still a place kicker and punter on the Colorado roster.
Yeah, but he's not the field goal kicker.
He's not the field goal kicker. There's some Hispanic kid. Shout out to my Migos. Do I want to take this up because Oklahoma State?
If you're so confident,
okay. I like that. I will take you up on that. I will sub in. It's official. I will take Colorado's defense as my defense and special teams this week just to keep it fair for Matt. I'm taking that bet. I think my team is strong.
Okay.
I like it. I think this adds a little spice ball to it.
You're taking Colorado's defense.
I'm going to take for this 1 week only.
This is a one time
only. I'm taking Colorado's defense, and this I get to keep. Yes. For one time only, I'm taking Colorado's defense for this week. Add a little spice to your life, baby. Matt, that fireball's kicking in, brother.
I'm really shocked you did that.
I'm that confident, dude. Noah Fafita is going to sling for 1,000,000 yards. It's going to get. I mean, RJ Harvey's going to run for 1,000. My team is stacked, dude.
Okay. Love it.
Just a couple other games around the Big 12. You got BYU SMU. That's kicking off on Friday night. SMU's looking pretty good.
See, this is the problem. Like, we have this perception of like the ACC was bad, like the past 2 weeks. Well, there really are a lot of conference games that are hurting them, but their good teams are bad, and their middle teams are just So the ACC is down, but this is going to be a big test for the Big 12. We could, be talking about the Big 12 as a very, very strong conference, or a lot of our middling teams are going to get beat by teams that we don't want them to get beat by. So we have to, for the perception of the conference, we need Colorado. We need Arizona State. And we need BYU.
Oklahoma State, Arkansas, Cincinnati, Pittsburgh. That's another ACC matchup there for you, Chef.
And then gotta have these games.
El Paso.
I'm not feeling. I think Iowa. I don't know what that game's going to entail.
3-2 is the final score.
Will there even be 2.5 points scored in that game?
What's the over underline?
Oh, what's the over underline? It's
got to be 30. It's in the 30s.
Yeah,
it's in the 30s, right?
Yeah.
Is 35 for real?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
35.5.
Oh my god.
That is,
I might take the under. I'm taking the under on that.
35.5.
Yes, give me the under. I mean, they scored 21 points on North Dakota, and then Iowa is Iowa. Man, give me 30. Under 35.5 is a lock. That is a lock.
All right, Chef's locks.
Lock.
Andre's locks.
Let's go.
Bringing it to you right here. Well, that's going to do it for our locks and fantasy draft, fantasy starters for week 2. Once again, shout out to our sponsors, Pat's Beef Jerky and Annie's Parlor. Remember to visit patsbeefjerky.com and use the promo code CATS for 10% off your next order. Additionally, we are the K-State representative on the College Huddle, which is the largest community of fan-driven content in the nation. Check them out at thecollegehuddle.com and follow them on social media at College Huddle. Last but not least, you can follow our show on YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, at Cocaine Willie, or follow us individually. I'm at Bob Trollsby. Chef is at Chef Andre Napier, and Fireball Matt is at Matt Marchesini. Chef.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
We are all coke and no joke. Wildcat Country.
Let's fucking run.
Let's ride.
Let's ride. Let's ride.